So, getting in shape is one of the most meaningful things you can do for yourself, and you probably already know that. But not only it will distance yourself from the average, boosting your confidence and projecting an aura of self assurance, but you'll also regain control and power over your life. This will make you proud of yourself on a daily basis because you know you're doing what's best for you. And in the long run, you'll enjoy a greater lifespan, improved health span, disease prevention, better mood, mental health. It basically benefits everything. The process, however, can be overwhelming, and with the sheer quantity of information, it's hard to know what to apply and what to focus on when you're only getting started. I remember when I started going to the gym back in 2019, watching fitness content gave me anxiety because there was just too much quality information and I couldn't apply any of it because I didn't know anything about this stuff. And today we're going to talk about how to get remarkably in shape in the least amount of time. Remarkably meaning that people remark the change in your body. And when starting, the most important thing by far is to have a clear structure. You need to know what you're doing, why you're doing it, when you're supposed to be doing it. Because doing the right stuff consistently is the only way to get to your goals. And trust me, everything gets far easier when you have guidelines to help you get through the dark. And a workout plan is only one component of your structure. There's more to it. No, what's that? You want to freestyle it? Okay, but not okay. Now, for the people that are tempted to freestyle it or that don't want a color structure because it's too restricting, okay, but not okay. And unless you want to switch your goal to being a skateboarder, I highly suggest a proper plan. Now, in terms of logistics, here's what you're going to need in order to build a remarkable physique. One, a calendar, which isn't too hard to find. Two, a workout plan. And three, self-discipline. First, you need to get clear on when you're going to exercise. And when I say when, I want to be specific about the time, the day, and the location. Pick a frequency that's realistic but effective. I suggest starting with at least 3 sessions per week. I talk about that in step 1, link in the description if you want it. The length doesn't have to be that long at first. An effective workout can be a 30-minute workout, especially when you're just starting out. Now, use your calendar. Open it, book the slots in, and if possible, make it recurring. Activate reminders so your brain has an option, but to know that, for example, Thursday from noon to 1 p.m. during lunchtime, it's your workout. And if you want to truly make the change and start building your physique, exercise must become a priority. It's a non-negotiable. You don't find the time to train, you make the time to exercise. The semantics are very important here. Your body is the foundation of your health, and by not making it a priority, you're diminishing your health span because of what? Procrastination and lack of motivation. These aren't strong enough excuses. Second, a workout plan. Now, unless you have education in kinesiology or personal training to start with, the workout plan won't be perfect at start and it won't be adapted to your wants and needs, and that's fine. Find a workout plan that seems reasonable, and most of the time, sticking to the plan is way more important than the plan itself. Because at the end of the day, it's your job to find what works for you and what doesn't. You have to experiment with the exercises, the variables over time to make a workout plan that's coherent with the way you want to exercise. This means a lot of testing. And even after years of experience in the gym, people are continuously testing different things. I'm still testing a lot of stuff too. Don't feel inadequate because you don't know what to do. After just a few weeks of practicing the exercises, your brain will have no choice but to become better at it. Now, the problem in crafting your own workout plan is it's going to be overwhelming. And that's okay. There are a few fundamentals that you need to be aware of when you're starting. These haven't really changed over the years, and this is what you should be focusing on. When it comes to exercise selection, don't get crazy. Do not use social media as a source of academic literature. It is not. Focus on learning the essentials known as compound exercises. For example, these are squats, deadlift, lunges, bench press, pull-ups, push-ups, among others. Now, it might sound crazy difficult, but it's really not. You can find a list of those on Google, and many people in the fitness industry have made great content about how to perform them. And I suggest resources like Athlean or Jeff Neppert. Now, when you're actually crafting your workout plan, it doesn't need to be that technical at first. This is just a direction. This is just for you to enter the building, enter the gym, and just not being lost in the sea of machines. Focus on 2 compound exercises per session and make sure you're targeting all muscle groups really evenly. That means that per week, you're using different muscle groups and not always the same ones repeatedly, like doing arms 3 days per week, for example. Don't worry about sets, reps, tempo at first. The main goal when starting is just to learn the technique. So I suggest going a little higher in reps and doing enough sets for you to practice going through the motion, because when you're a beginner, you're practicing lifting weights. You can go for 3 to 4 sets depending on the difficulty of the exercise and your physical condition when starting, but aim for at least 10 reps. You can even go up to 20. The technique is what will dictate other variables, not the weight. The technique is first. The goal is to practice your form, and for that to happen, you need to do it as many times as your brain needs to in order to essentially map the motion using your motor cortex. Now, what would you have to do all this complicated and fancy stuff? Because if you want to get in shape and stay in shape, most importantly, you have to understand how the system works. You need to try, fail, and iterate. There's nothing inherently difficult or complex in shaping your physique and building muscle. That being said, the reason why most people don't make it past the second week is because they lack what's called discipline. Because if you think that motivation is going to take you there, you'll stop going to the gym fairly quickly. If you want to build a fit and remarkable physique from this point on, you're not relying on motivation anymore. You'll be using discipline. A self-discipline is the ability to manage thoughts, emotions, or behavior in the face of temptation to achieve a specific goal. You will want to stay home and watch Netflix instead of going to the gym on a raining day, and that's to be expected. At first, there's nothing compelling about going to the gym and inducing stress on a muscle just to make it bigger. And that is why knowing exactly why you're doing it will save you, because it will allow you to use willpower and a very good reason to stand up, pack your bag, and leave for the gym. And self-discipline isn't built in from birth. You need to acquire it, just like you will build muscle through repetitions and diligence. And the trap here is to expect to feel motivated. Don't. If you're motivated, good, you'll go to the gym motivated. If you're not, doesn't matter, you'll still go to the gym regardless. Motivation is bonus, not a necessity. And if you do this, if you have a clear structure, you'll drastically reduce the chances of quitting within the first month because you felt overwhelmed and stressed out. Now again, bad days are to be expected, and sometimes you won't stick to the plan. Don't dwell on it. Every day is a new opportunity for you to get better. The rule, though, is that you cannot skip 2 days in a row or you'll find yourself on a negative streak. Now, let's get technical about what you should be doing in the gym. First of all, you need to take time to warm up. So you really want to prepare your body for exercise. This will not only protect your joints and tendons, but it will also make it easier for you to feel the contractions of your muscle. And that's a good thing, because if you want to develop your physique, if you want to grow muscle, you need to apply stress onto those muscles, forcing them to adapt to the resistance, which is what is ultimately going to make it grow. And for that to happen, you need to contract them very hard. And the way you engage your muscle during a particular exercise is crucial, as it will determine where the focus is. That's why when you first start, your only goal in the gym should be to learn the technique and to focus on command activation, or finding the right muscle. Start by discovering and learning how to use your muscles and contract them on purpose to lift the weight during a particular exercise. Now, this takes a little bit of knowledge at first, and you may have to look up where the hamstrings or the triceps are when you're first starting. I'll link an image of all of the muscle groups that you will be using in the description. But this is empowering. This is you learning about your body and its structure and the way it works. And I strongly recommend learning basic anatomy if you're serious about going to the gym, as this will help you build what's called mind-muscle connection, a very powerful tool that will greatly help you build a remarkable physique. That's the connection between your brain and your muscle system. Establishing this relationship involves purposefully focusing on the contraction of a specific muscle group to activate it. Let's say I'm doing push-ups, for example. I don't want to just push up. I'm going to push up while concentrating on my chest to provoke the strongest possible contraction. And this requires time, patience, and iteration, as it's the neuronal wiring that needs to occur. This is why a frequency of 3 sessions per week is, to me, the minimum, because frequency is what is ultimately going to help you build the self-discipline as well as the mind-muscle connection. You should be focusing on doing a little better each time. You want to apply the principle of progressive overload, it's called. A simple way to explain it is this: your body is highly adaptable, extremely lazy. Okay, it will do what's necessary, but always bare minimum. And by applying specific mechanical stress, you force the adaptation, as your muscles just weren't used to that much physical pressure. They will have to adapt to that stressor, and they will, with proper rest and nutrition, grow bigger to be more ready for the next time this happens. Imagine doing a squat, for example. If you've never done one before and you hop under a bar and you do 3 sets, your legs will be screaming at your brain that they need to get bigger. It needs to reinforce them to be more prepared for next time. That being said, if you always do the same thing every session, there's no adaptation needed, as your body is already adapted to that stimulation. So the goal is to always try to apply more pressure on your muscles, considering the fact that your technique is pristine. Okay, technique first. This is key to progressing and defining your physique. So at first, during your first sessions, just focus on acquiring the technique. You're not quite there yet for the principle of progressive overload, but keep it in mind, because this is going to be very important. Actually, this is what directs your growth. And how you do it is through adapting, changing the variables. So when the technique is acquired, you want to increase the difficulty of the exercise by adding more weight, sets, reps, etc. on a consistent basis. Now, lastly, I want to talk about beliefs, because your beliefs about yourself and what you're capable of doing are crucial. Most of the time, going to the gym means battling against yourself to be better than you were the last time you came in. And progressive overload applies to your mind too, as you'll quickly realize that your body is rarely the limiting factor. Your mind oftentimes is. And building your physique is as much mental as it is physical. And your beliefs have a deep impact on this progress. It can be negative and limit your potential, but it can also be positive, improving your growth. Be aware of your thoughts that you're cultivating about yourself, your fitness, and your exercise level. You become what you think about repeatedly. And if you think that you'll never be able to develop your physique, chances are that you'll make it your reality. All of this to say that you need to be careful about your thoughts, as they're powerful determinants of your success. Now, this is what I'd tell you if I had an hour with you to put you on the right track. And if you have any questions, use the comment section. As always, I hope this helps. Trust the process.